All right. UFC, Abu Dhabi, Whittaker versus the Ritter took place last night, and I'm just now getting to it. But fuck it, let's get through it. Martin Bidet versus Marcus Buchecha. I took Marcus Buchecha because he has like actual like credentials and jujitsu, and he's done this and that, and has this and that in jiu-jitsu. And Martin Buday is like just like some fat guy that wants to fight. But Martin Buday won because Marcus Buchecha couldn't really get him down and impose his will, and he got tired quicker than Martin Buday, which is actually pretty embarrassing. So, I mean, it is what it is. Embarrassing for Marcus Buchecha. I thought he could be something, but he will never be anything, and he might not ever get a win in the UFC. Congratulations to Martin Buday. Moving on to Muhammad Yahya versus Stephen Way. Now, this was amazing. I was jumping up in my seat. Stephen Way broke the record and now has the new record for the most knockdowns in a single fight. I counted like 8 or 9 knockdowns. I don't remember with how much. I think they only credit him with like 6. They only credit him with 6. That's retarded. He got more than 6. I don't know why they didn't credit him with more, but it is what it is. He broke the record by a few knockdowns, but officially only by 2. So that sucks. But what a wild fight! It was so crazy to watch. Man, Muhammad Yahya will never win in the UFC. He's simply not good enough. He's tough. He is really tough, and he was actually coming back from a lot of these, and he actually hurt Stephen Way in round 2, like immediately on, dude. And I thought we were about to see the biggest comeback in UFC history. But Stephen Way, man, just too powerful, too good. Muhammad Yahya just can't fight. It's unfortunate. Yahya got a knockdown, no? I thought he got a knockdown. He probably got a knockdown, but they didn't credit him with one because I don't know what the stat guys are doing. But man, this was amazing. This was an amazing fight. The best fight of the night to watch. It was just nonstop knockdowns and action, and dude, his eye was so nasty, bro. I couldn't. Oh my god, dude, so nasty. So nasty. But man, I couldn't believe how nasty his eye was. They stopped the fight. It wasn't even a knockout loss. It was a doctor stoppage loss, as crazy as that is. But good shit for Stephen Way, man. Moving on. Ibo Aslan versus Billy Elikana. This fight was just retarded. Like, anybody who picked anyone in this fight, it didn't go the way that they had said. So Ibo Aslan come out and just decided to just not do jack shit, and Billy Elikana also decided to come out and just do jack shit. Ibo Aslan before this has a 100% knockout rate in all of his wins. He has 14 wins, 14 knockouts, and then in this fight he just says, "Hey, wouldn't it be great if I just let this guy beat me? Wouldn't it be great if I just threw nothing and did nothing to lose?" And Billy Elikana was like, "Well, this guy's not doing shit, so I'm going to just do a little bit more to win on the scorecards." That's all this fight was, and this fight pissed me off because we just watched Muhammad Yahya versus... God damn it. We had just watched Muhammad Yahya versus Stephen Wynn. We're all hyped up about this. Like, oh, dude, this card's going to be good. And then we get this bullshit. So I don't really want to talk about this anymore because the fight just pissed me off. But both these guys are shit. So moving on to Amanda Hebos versus Tabitha Ricci. I picked Amanda Hebos because Tabitha Ricci has never been able to like implement anything of any kind of danger on anyone for her entire life because she doesn't hit hard. She's not physically strong. But she just comes out here and she just sleeps Amanda Ribas. It's like her first knockout that I can ever think of. Amanda Hebos should probably retire because getting knocked out by Tabitha Ricci is a retirable offense. because Tabitha Ricci has absolutely no business finishing anyone in any way. Especially since most of her wins are robbery wins that she shouldn't have got. So, I mean, realistically, her record is like... Realistically, she has like a losing record, but they just give her wins because she's hot. Moving on to Davy Grant versus Damon Blackshear. Now, when I did my predictions video, I talked about how I was so tempted to take Davy Grant, but he's getting older, he's had surgeries, and Damon Blackshear is younger, and he's very technical, and he's really, really good on the ground, and I trusted the technique and the ground skills of Damon Blackshear over Davy Grant. And Davy Grant just went in there and Davy Granted his opponent, so I mean, not much else I can say about that, man. Davy Grant went out there and did Davy Grant. I forgot to turn my AC off. Hopefully it's not too loud. But I mean, yeah. I like Davy Grant, though. Everybody loves Davy Grant. Dangerous Davy Grant. Damon Blackshear, I don't know. I don't know what to do with him, man. He hasn't really looked that good recently. But, I mean, I don't know. Congratulations, Davy Grant. Moving on. Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leo. Come on, what's wrong with my camera? Carlos Leo was the most confident pick I had all night. Carlos Leo came into the UFC 30-27. Renat Fakhretdinov 30-27 him, but they gave him a loss. This is one of the worst robberies of the year. Then he goes in there and he knocks out Alex Morono in round 1. Looked really good. Meanwhile, Muslim Salikov, he did KO Song Kenan, but Song Kenan is... He got knocked out badly by Randy Brown, and overall just has looked really old and really bad recently in his career. And I thought, Carlos Leo, someone who came in and beat Renat Fakhretdinov, a Russian fighter who should be in better physical form at this point in his career than Muslim Salikov, and then beat up Alex Morono, and I'm just thinking, like, he's too big, too strong, and Muslim Salikov is like 42 or something like that. I said, man, Carlos Leo, there's no way Carlos Leo loses, and he goes out there and he just fucking gets KO'd. He literally just, like, projectiles himself into a beautiful right hand by Muslim Salikov. Just puts him out, man. It is what it is, man. Carlos Leo will never be anything. It is what it is. Good way for Muslim Salikov. I don't know how much longer he'll be able to do this. I don't know how much longer he should be able to still be doing this, but as long as he's winning, right? Why stop? Moving on to Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. Said Nurmagomedov is he's just unreliable as fuck, dude. Dude, I was pretty confident in him here, because Bryce Mitchell, the way he shoots takedowns, always leaves him open to front chokes. Said Nurmagomedov dropped him badly with a knee, dude, in round 1. Dropped him so badly. Almost finished him. And then he almost had a few submissions on Bryce Mitchell as well. But I'll tell you what my takeaway of this fight was. Said Nurmagomedov is a better fighter than Bryce Mitchell. He just is. He's more well-rounded. He's quicker. He's faster. He's just got more skills both on the feet and on the ground. But Said gasses out, and Bryce Mitchell is very heavy on top. And he's just a lot stronger because he's coming down in division. So he had that size and strength advantage. And when they were both fresh, Said was whooping him. But as the fight progressed and they started grappling a bit more and Bryce Mitchell was putting that strength on him, Said started to gas, and Bryce Mitchell was just able to take over with the weight and the strength advantage. Said Nurmagomedov is still better, but better doesn't always win. Better does not always win, and Bryce Mitchell showed that last night and came away with the win. I still do not have a win on my underdog of the week pick, so I'm going to have to really reevaluate what's going on. I feel like I'm cursed. I am definitely cursed. Because all the picks I've had they were good picks. Like, they were good underdogs to take. They just haven't won. But I'll win one eventually. I'll win one eventually. It just won't be because of Said Nurmagomedov's bitch ass. Now, when it comes to Bryce Mitchell's future in the 135 division, I actually do not have a high ceiling for him. I think his chin is gonna be dog shit in this division. Dropped by Said Nurmagomedov. And he's very vulnerable. Why am I yawning? Every video. Yeah. I don't know how far Bryce can go. If they want Bryce to get ranked, they have to really be careful with the matchmaking. Bryce Mitchell would beat Rob Font, but off the top of my head, I don't know what ranked fighters he beats. He probably beats Chito Vera. He beats Chito Vera. Chito Vera, Rob Font. I don't know who else he beats, but we'll have to see. There's a reason that Said Nurmagomedov is not ranked. And Bryce Mitchell struggled, so it is what it is. Moving on to the main card. Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. Nikita Krylov should fucking retire. I think. I don't know. He got KO'd by Dominic Reyes after a long layoff. Dominic Reyes is a very powerful puncher. He always has been. It is what it is. He came back like 3 months after that to fight here. To fight Bogdan Guskov. 3 months later, I think it has been. So, not smart on the part of Nikita Krylov, but you know what? I'm going to admit that Bogdan Guskov is good, and he's good. He has a future in this division. I will say, dude, Magomed Ankalaev is in danger, man. Some of these new guys are smoking some of these new guys are smoking Magomed Ankalaev's best wins and most competitive wins. So, Ankalaev has definitely got some competition to have to defend against. This is not going to be an easy title run for Magomed Ankalaev at all. So, this division is about to get real fun. I'll tell you that. This light heavyweight division is about to get real fun. So, I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. Bogdan Guskov, beautiful performance. Beautiful right hand by Bogdan Guskov. Man, it was beautiful. I thought Nikita Krylov was going to be able to submit Bogdan Guskov because most of Nikita's wins are submissions, and Bogdan Guskov can be controlled. So, yep, I thought but the beautiful right hand, bro, puts Nikita Krylov down, and he just starts hammering out for the finish. Bogdan Guskov is huge, man. He's a massive human being. So Uzbekistan, huh? Uzbekistan, you guys got yourself a fucking fighter. Moving on. Asu Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. This one's going to be quick. I just want to say a few things. Asu Almabayev is okay, but Jose Ochoa was better. He only lost this because he took it on short notice, I believe. I'm more impressed by Jose Ochoa. And he nearly won. He nearly won this short notice fight. I think this was a bad performance from Asu Almabayev. Someone stepping on this short notice, you probably should be able to beat, like, very convincingly and maybe even finish. Jose Ochoa with a full camp, I think, finishes Asu Almabayev. Asu would get touched on the feet and then immediately resort to just takedown, and stalling up against the fence and all that. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, so Asu Almabayev, he's okay, but I don't know about him to be honest. But Jose Ochoa I think he is a former title contender for sure. I don't know if I can say the same for Asu Almabayev. Rematch, Jose Ochoa finishes him. Asu is okay. Moving on to Shara Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I got cooked on Twitter because as these two were making their walkout, I posted on Twitter a picture of Roman Reigns yawning, and I said, who's ready for Shara to stink up the main card? Because typically Shara Magomedov is just like a tit-for-tat guy. He'll do just enough on the back foot to win a decision, and it's usually not the funnest to watch and all that. But Marc-Andre Barriault, or Barrio, however you pronounce it, forced a fight out of Shara Magomedov. Trust me, Shara wasn't going to fight anything like that had Marc-Andre not pulled it out of him. But Marc-Andre hurt him very bad in round 2. Hit him with a shot that almost dropped him and flew up against the cage. And Marc-Andre started putting it on him. Looked like he was about to get somewhere. So Shara knew he had to get dirty if he wanted to come back. And he started to get dirty himself because Marc-Andre was hurting him. And they were going back and forth. And Shara Magomedov went life and death with Marc-Andre Barriault, which is a terrible look. But he did get the win. Almost finished Marc-Andre at the end of the 3rd round. Was putting it on him. I think he may have even dropped him or just hurt him. That he shot a takedown that failed and ended up on the ground. And Shara was just grinding and pounding him. Boom, 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 and all that. So Shara Magomedov is quick. He is quick. But you know, I do not think that Shara Magomedov has a high ceiling in the middleweight division. He simply just doesn't hit hard enough, and he's got no grappling. He's got no grappling. I think if you put Shara up against someone like I was gonna say Arnold Allen, Brendan Allen. If you put Shara up against Brendan Allen, I think Brendan Allen takes 0 damage and submits Shara in like a few minutes. You put him in there against Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa's taking no damage, and he's just going to knock out Shara Magomedov. You put him in there against, like, Roman Kopylov would KO him. You know, like, Shara's just not that good, and he's had very favorable matchmaking. And if I'm being honest, Shara Magomedov is probably the best example of an industry plan I've ever seen in my life. Simply put here because he's Russian with the last name Magomedov. And, he always fights in Abu Dhabi. They always like to have him in Abu Dhabi, and they give him favorable matchups, other than MVP. So, it is what it is. Marc-Andre Barriault actually showed out, had a pretty good performance himself. Really showed that he cared to be in there and that he cared to get that win, even though he didn't get it. Shara Magomedov is just too light on his feet, too good on the back foot, and yeah, good performance. It was a really fun fight. A really fun fight to watch. Entertaining. Can't say that about most of Shara Magomedov's fights, so good on that. Let me check what time I'm at. I feel like I'm getting through these super quickly. 19 minutes, okay. I feel like I'm getting through this super quickly. But moving on to co-main event already. Make sure I didn't miss anything on these other fights. Ibu Aslan, Billy Elakana, fuck 'em. Amanda Heat, Boss Tapatarichi, Davy Grant, Damon Blackshear. Man, I might take Davy Grant in his next fight. Salikov, Carlos Leo, fuck Carlos Leo. Bryce Mitchell, Saeed, fuck them both. Nikita Krylov, Bogdan Guskov, Asu. Okay, well, I've just been going through them. Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. Man, this was a scrap. Petr Yan won, no doubt. I'm trying to remember how I scored it. I scored 3-0 or 2-1. I don't remember. But Petr Yan just looked vintage Petr Yan. He has no finishing ability, so we knew that he wasn't ever going to be able to finish or drop Marcus McGee. But my glasses are falling down. Petr Yan doesn't have no finishing potential, so we knew this was going to a decision. But Petr Yan is very aesthetically pleasing to watch. He's very good. Elite boxing, and that's what we saw. I mean, just the boxing, the striking was just too good for Marcus McGee. I seen a lot of people saying a good win for Petr Yan over the 35-year-old prospect, and downplaying this win for Petr Yan because Marcus McGee is 35. Let's just make one thing clear. Yes, Marcus McGee is 35, but he's got no mileage. He's got no tread on the tires. That might be used wrong. But he's got, like, no mileage in the game, dude. He's got, like, 12 fights total. He hasn't taken much damage at all throughout his career. I mean, he's older. He's 35, but he could probably still do this at a high level for a much longer time than other people his age because they've been through wars. People at 35 years old have usually been competing for years more than Marcus McGee has, so he's a prospect, whether you like it or not. 35 or not, he looks young in there. He fights young. He's quick. He's powerful. He can take damage, you know. So despite the fact that he's 35, he fights like he's 21, 29, 30. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I said 21. He fights like he's 29, 30. You know. He's probably going to outlast Petr Yan in the sport. Petr Yan's probably going to retire before Marcus McGee does. Even though Petr Yan is only 32, he just has a lot more mileage. He's been competing for a lot longer. He's taken a lot more damage than Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee's body is in better, you know? So. But Petr Yan still just too good, too experienced, too fast, too technical for Marcus McGee. Some of the angles that Petr Yan was hitting him on, super impressive. The one where he chopped the low kick and then turned it into an uppercut and then a left hand, stumbling Marcus McGee against the cage. One thing that surprised me a little bit was when they were connecting, Petr Yan seemed like he had the harder punches. I thought that Marcus McGee would be able to put more power on Petr Yan than vice versa, but maybe it was just the way I was looking at it. Maybe it was just the way I was seeing it. But it looked like Petr Yan was actually landing not only more, but the harder shots in general. Marcus McGee actually might have landed more. I'm not sure. I can find out. Total strikes. No. 130 to 66. Way more for Petr Yan. Unless, I don't know. What's the round by round? 24-23, 37-35, 69 and 8 strikes. Ooh. Wow, round 3 was bad for Marcus McGee. But every strike was significant. Yeah, okay. Amazing performance by Petr Yan. Piotr Jan should be next for the title. I was arguing on Twitter last night after this fight, before the main event. Someone was saying that Piotr Jan should have to fight Sean O'Malley first before he gets a title shot. I don't see. Got interrupted. Anyways, I feel like I was rambling on about this fight anyway, so. Yeah, but as I was saying, Piotr Jan has paid his dues. Piotr Jan he's on what, a 3-fight win streak. Song, Figgy, and Marcus McGee. Three decent names, 2 good names, 1 decent name, Marcus McGee. Sean O'Malley lost twice in a row to Merab. Sean O'Malley needs to fight down in the rankings a little bit. Give somebody down there a shot up into the rankings. Piotr Jan should wait out and fight the winner of Corey Sandhagen and Merab, especially if Corey Sandhagen wins. There is no doubt Piotr is next. If Merab wins, if you really want to, there's an argument you can make because of how dominant the first fight between Merab and Piotr was. But Piotr Jan not only beat, but he dominated Corey Sandhagen already. If Corey Sandhagen pulls away with this win over Merab, you have to give it to Piotr Jan. He has a win over Corey Sandhagen for an interim belt, I believe. So there's no doubt. But even if Merab wins, I say Piotr Jan should wait out until that fight, and then he gets the winner. And fucking Sean O'Malley can fight like Mario Bautista or something. Moving on to Robert Whittaker versus Reinier de Ridder, the main event of the evening. I am not a fan of Reinier de Ridder. It's not because I don't think he's that boring. I don't think he's boring, but it's just I don't know. I have this thing where when a new fighter comes in the UFC and he's coming up and he's on his way up or whatever, and I'm not necessarily too impressed by his performances, yet Twitter is just a dick riding, and I'm not impressed, and it's like everyone is dick riding. It just makes me want to naturally root against them because it just pisses me off to see how people are talking about him. The GM3 fight, not impressive. The Bo Nickel fight, impressive. The Kevin Holland fight, not impressive. The Robert Whittaker fight, impressive and not impressive. Beating Whittaker in itself is impressive, but the performance was not impressive at all. And on first watch, when I was watching it live, because I'm a little biased, I was watching it live, and I scored it for Robert Whittaker, 135 Whittaker. But I did rewatch round 5, and yeah, you can give it to Reinier de Ridder. He wins the fight, I agree, on rewatch. But, man, it's just, I don't know, dude. It's the same thing with Ilya. I want Ilya to lose so bad, and I like Ilya. I want him to lose so bad, but it's not because I don't like Ilya Taporia. It's just the fans, man. People act like he's invincible. You know, I got laughed at on Twitter. Because I said that Islam Makhachev would beat Ilya Taporia. Since when has that become a laughable statement? A laughable take? I don't understand. See, that shit is what pisses me off. And that shit is what makes me root against people, even if I like them. Shit pisses me off, dude. I said that Robert Whittaker's going to win this fight, and I got laughed at. How is that a laughable take? He almost finished De Ridder. And in some people's eyes, he won the fight. So it's like, shit like that just pisses me off with MMA fans, bro. Pisses me off. Really bad. But Reinier de Ridder won. It is what it is. He's not good, but he's very big and very physical. You see how big he was out there? How big he is for the division is like 80% of his success. Because he can just throw up knees like it's nothing. And they're fucking deadly. But his grappling's okay. I mean, he wasn't able to take down and control Whittaker for real. Not like Chimaev was, so, you know. Rainier the Ritter is still very unimpressive to me, and I will most likely pick against him in his next fight because Robert Whittaker's older and he just can't perform like he used to. So that's another contributing factor to the win of Rainier the Ritter. But you know, time moves on and divisions evolve. I get it. Robert Whittaker's on his way out. Rainier the Ritter's the new guy, and it is what it is. This fight hurt though because I wanted to see Robert Whittaker win. The knockdown was brutal and all that, but getting knocked down by Robert Whittaker is not a good look. It is not a good look. I mean, someone like Paulo Costa would probably sleep the Ritter. Duplessis sleep the Ritter. Chimaev submits him. Imavov and Baraujo probably, even Cannonier might even sleep the Ritter, you know? So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where these two go from this point on. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to conclude it. I'm at, let's see what I'm at. 31 minutes. That ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. Yeah. Robert Whittaker versus Rainier de Ritter. I don't know why I said it like that. Damn, my picks wasn't good here. Let's see. I got one. Hold on, really? 1, 2, 3. I got 3 fights correct total on the card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I went 3 and 8 on the card. Oh my god. What was wrong with me this card, man? What was wrong with me? That's insane. All right, well, hey. We'll pick it up. We'll pick it up next card. Way more times than not, I have a winning record on a card. I mean, I don't know the last time I had more fights wrong on one card than right. So, it is what it is. That is wild. But that will conclude this video. I'm about to go do some shit. So, appreciate y'all for stopping by. And, what's next week? Well, I was about to say it's Tara versus Albazi, but that fight's off, isn't it? What's going on? See you.